Good morning. What's up, everybody? We're at it again. Hey, Paul. Hey, Bill. Hey, Julian. We got ourselves an uptrend to start the morning. How about that? Gonna open at another all-time high. My goodness. Let's draw out some of our levels here on ES. We got that all-time high. That will be super important. Very likely that some point after the opening bell, we'll go test that. We never actually tested the low from a couple days ago that we gapped above. Leave that on the chart too. We have so many levels to the downside, it's not even funny. Good morning, future. Hey, Toad. Do I think it's going to be a bullish day? I mean, I don't know. We never really know. But yeah, I mean, there's a good chance of that. The market is super bullish. And there's really... Do we have any news? Yeah, we don't even have any news today. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to push the market down. We got just a couple minutes till the open here, and we will be looking for a long right off the bat. When you got this, yeah, we got this uptrend still in play. Has not had a break in a new high yet. Minute and a half now to the open. Good morning, Neil. Futures doing your likes rotation. All right, man. Sounds good. One minute to go, and again, we're going to be looking for the long right at the open. But keep in mind when you have a gap up, the typical scenario is that the other side of the market is tested. We test and see how strong sellers are. Come try to test those key levels. So don't get crazy on just buying here. Really make sure that this sets up good. So it always is risky taking a trade right at the open. Good morning, Squid. All right, here we go. Market's open. Let's see what happens here. Can we get a nice push above the 21? Morning, Squid. Not what you want to see if you are a long. But this move down could be played out. It already has a little overshoot there. See if we can push above. Definitely bulls are trying here. Get back above the 21. If that happens, we'll look for a higher low. This is really the first attempt up by bulls. We had this pullback here. This is the first attempt by bulls to push the market higher. We just need that EMA to hold as a support level, basically. So looking for that higher low. All right, nice, nice. We got a one close above the 21. Bar looks to be closing there too. NQ is not holding the EMA, so keep that in mind. Yeah, a little bit of divergence going on here. NQ drop in, ES looking like it wants to push up. We'll still consider a higher low on ES, although with the divergence that makes it less high probability of a trade. Nasdaq's really dropping. Still no higher low on ES that we could even consider. Morning, Anna. Yeah, not taking any of those bars. All inside, just chopping right around the 21. Good morning, Joanne. And again, NQ just dropping. So, not interested here. Unless we get a really solid bullish hammer. And that's why we wait, folks. That is why we wait. But the good news is now that this downtrend could be played out, we had to move down, break new low. Now if we push back above the EMA, we can take a long with a ton of confidence in here. But if we keep going down, it could very well be that this isn't a wider channel. We're playing it tight. Like if it was a range kind of bias, this is what it would look like. So the wide channel is only basically a just in case channel. And I got a feeling that's where we're going to land. Coming back down to that previous all-time high, the market's going to test that. The seller's looking a bit motivated here. All right, we are now peaking below that key level. Sellers are coming out to play today. Man, oh man. That must mean Nvidia is dropping. Because Nasdaq's been weak all morning. Now we're seeing that weakness in ES too. All right, breaking below. This looks to be its own trend here. So now that we're below that key level, we can consider a short. Just looking for a pullback to the EMA, some resistance, and of course a second entry. So we just definitely don't want to get back above this key level. So we got this move down. When we get a pullback, we don't want it to come up here and start doing this kind of stuff, right? That will most likely be just a base to go higher. We want this to pull back and hold this breakout as if it was resistance. Joanne saying, note to self, do not try anything new on live feed. I don't know what that means. Oh, are you on a live account and you're trying new stuff? If that's the case, yeah, definitely don't do that. Live accounts are for when you have not only a proven strategy, but a proven track record to yourself that you can execute. Getting a pretty big bounce here. Right, there's our pullback. We need to see resistance forming here. It is a little bit. We technically do have one attempt lower off of that 21. If we get a really good looking bar, we can consider taking it, but this downtrend also might be played out if we draw it really tight. That looks to be the case. So we will cautiously look for a setup here. Looking for that lower high. We didn't quite get it on those bars. But that is the move we're expecting, so that's good. Price action is working. We still have not broken either the overnight high or overnight low. We are below the key level though, so we'd have to take a stab at a direction. So far, the bears are winning today. Good morning, Jonathan. All right, that little move down does technically have a break and new low. Move down here, break new low. This is where we would expect a bounce. So we will see what the bulls are made of. At this point, we have to wait for a new trend to develop. Again, our downtrend is played out, so not the time to short here. You got to move down, break new low. If we want to short again, we need a bullish trend to play out. We need to have a move up, break new high, especially if we reject at this key level. That will give us a lot of confidence to short. The only other possibility is maybe there's a wider uptrend, but it's way too early to tell on that one. Again, we still haven't broken the overnight low or overnight high, so you don't want to get too carried away trying to look for a wide trend yet. Remember, the wide trends are representative of strong price action. So if the move isn't actually strong, don't draw a wide trend. And certainly there has been no strong moves today. Right? We're just up and down. We haven't gone anywhere. This is essentially just a big range so far. Okay, watching this key level to see if we break above it. And look, we're getting that bounce right on cue. Right when we would expect it to. All right, there's our push back above that previous all-time high. Ooh, look at that rejection. So far, definite bear sign. See if we can get some follow through to the downside. It'd be lovely. Right on the bottom of that range. If sellers want to dominate today, they're going to need to make this move down here. Got to be patient. Let the market come to us. Yesterday is a good example of what patience can do. I was kind of unsure in the beginning of the day what was going on. Let's see. By the time, I'm trying to think of when we actually left. We had this uptrend, looked kind of played out, but then we pushed back to a new high and made another one. So had to wait a couple hours, but at this point we knew for sure that we had a bullish trend day, and then we're able to have some long setups here and here. So today can be very similar, right? You're unsure, don't know what's going on. We're kind of chopping around right at this key level, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, we got a trend that's very obvious. Or to the upside, right? This breaks above that key level and starts going like this, and we'll know exactly what we're looking for. So patience is always key. If things aren't clear now, then wait till they are. Pretty simple. Michael, yeah, it is kind of a fast moving range. That's true, huh? Come on, baby. Let's get out of this area. And like I said, no real news to break us out. At least no scheduled economic releases. Of course, news can always hit the headlines, which is why it's important to have your trade exchange news feed up. But econ releases, we got nothing today. So most likely result is that we drift higher. But of course, we can't follow our bias. We have to follow what price is actually doing. I almost said Netflix is bouncing. Nasdaq is bouncing. All that relative weakness it had in the morning is starting to look strong. And it went right down to its key level and bounced up. S&P has not been able to do that just yet. If you're sitting there itching to pull the trigger, just chill. There's no reason to jump into this yet. S&P is still chopping around at the same level. Not really showing any clear rejection of yesterday's high, nor bouncing above it yet. We're just waiting. For sure, Michael. There's about 30 folks in the Discord. I'd love to have you join. The link is below if you want. And I drop daily lessons on price action. There's complete setup checklists in there, and a lot of great traders. So it's a great community to trade with. Jeez, come on, S&P. Freaking do something already. Oh, sorry, Michael, didn't see your question. Yeah, primarily we're doing trading in a live text channel, so sending screenshots and chatting there. Also for premium members, if you'd like, there is a live feed of my screen, so no audio, but you can see exactly what I'm doing on my screen. So yeah. And also the mentorship option is great for people who are really wanting to, well, either step up their game or get a head start right off the bat. You have unlimited access to me throughout the day. You can ask me as many questions as you want. I'll break down charts, make customized videos, helping you understand concepts. And yeah, that's like the best way I would say to expedite your trading process. Like when you have someone there looking over your shoulder, tailoring content for where you are at is a really, really powerful way to improve. S&P is testing the bottom of this range. Also, didn't really think about this, but the government shutdown might be putting a limit on good price action. Right, starting to look at this wider channel. It's looking a bit more plausible. We still have not broken the overnight low, and NQ is not really joining in this move down, so we'll put that as a possibility, but definitely not trusting it just yet. Still could get a bounce. And this might be a day to trade for just a couple hours and be done with it if price action isn't going to improve. Just absolutely nothing. Nasdaq is holding up pretty well though. All right, a little bit of possibility here on ES. I'd be interested in a double higher low on a move up. We got one higher low. If we can get another one above the EMA, I'm going to be all in it. We're still under the EMA, so I'm not going to be able to take a higher low here. And now we're starting to push above the 21, so if we can get a higher low right here, I'd be interested in taking that. But so far, rejection. Looking to see if there's news on this, not seeing anything. Taking the second entry short doesn't really work there. That bar is way too big. A wider downtrend is starting to look more plausible. We were unable to break above the EMA. The only reason I really don't like this is just because of what's going on the Nasdaq. We're not really moving down at all, but S&P does look like it has a wider trend going. I'm loading the Nasdaq chart to see what's going on there. So you guys can see it is not really moving in the same way. Gosh, what the heck? Not even showing up. Yeah, so look on the Nasdaq, right? This is completely different. Downtrend already played out and we've just been chopping here. It was not able to make it really below the key level, so much more bullish on Nasdaq. Which again is the reason why I'm quite what's the word? Skeptical of this wide downtrend on ES. Don't think it's likely to continue to hold. Right now it looks good, and we'll certainly play it if it continues to be confirmed. So looking for a short here, but watching Nasdaq closely. If the Nasdaq starts bouncing, the likelihood that this holds just goes down and down. All right, here's a little bit of rejection at the EMA. I'm liking this. I am liking this. See if we can get the second leg of this pullback. We have one pullback, one attempt lower. Let's see if we can get a second leg back to the 21 and a bearish bar like so, and I'll take that short. All right, EMA not rejecting. I should again get clues from the Nasdaq that might happen. If we can push below and get a lower high, I'd still be interested. Otherwise, we might be back to the waiting game. Yeah, so if these conditions don't improve with no news and government shutdown, call it early, guys. Don't sit through nonsense. And especially don't click buttons and take trades and nonsense. Hope it's a great day for you. If you didn't hear, masterclass is out now. Link is in the description. If you were looking to level up your trading game, I've poured a lot of time into that. I'm very proud of the results. And of course, Discord community. Love to have you over there. We're going to try to trade this for a couple more hours, see what happens, and hopefully get a base hit or two. If not, there'll be better, greener pastures ahead. But hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Catch you next time.